If you're serious about getting out of founder burnout, but don't have a clear plan of how you're going to work less and still scale your business, I got some news for you, Jack. Nothing's going to change. But if you want to stop living like a punk founder in your 20s, doing everything in your business, working till 2 a.m., living off Taco Bell and grit, and if you're ready to put on your big boy pants and act like a CEO, these 3 simple but massive shifts are what you need to get there. These shifts helped a multi-unit restaurant founder go from living on his phone and doing everything in his business, solving problems late at night, losing sleep, to being able to be present with his family, develop a leadership team that really cares, and he's even able to take a vacation and be fully present with everyone that he loves. And they helped an owner of a DJ and production company go from handling everything in the day-to-day chaos to a CEO with a clear operating system, empowered managers, and 30% growth in 1 year. But how do they do that? It's with a concept that I use called identity alchemy. Identity alchemy is the process of changing who you are at your core. And we all start with one place, our thoughts. Your thoughts create your words create your actions repeated create your habits, and your habits repeated create your identity. So if you want to fix burnout, it's not about what you do, it's about how you think. Because how you think right now at this moment is what got you into burnout. And if you don't change how you think, you will never speak differently, act differently, and then become a different person. And that's the real core issue. We have to have a new identity for how you look at your business and how you work inside of it. Start thinking like this, and you'll be out of burnout in no time. Now that you got your mind right, let's get to shift number 1, doer to coach. My first question to you is, why do you want to work so hard anyway? Really, think about it. Did you build this business so that you could be grinding, and basically own your job? In my book, you get points for not working so hard and getting maximum results, not the other way around. You go from Michael Jordan to Phil Jackson. Because a lot of you are out there, and your biggest issue that you don't even realize is you are in competition with your own employees. And that's the biggest problem, because you're still in doer mode, and what you really need to be is in coach mode. It's all about knowledge transfer. Let's say you know your business 100%. Now let's say you took 5 people in your business and got them up to 80% of knowing your business, of their knowledge. All of a sudden now, your 100% is against their 400%. I take that 400% every day of the week. And that's what being a coach is all about. You transferring your knowledge. The bottleneck will always be you if you're the only one with all the knowledge. So how do you go from being a doer to a coach? Well, there's 3 things that you should never, ever do again. If you're successful from keeping yourself from doing these 3 things, you'll be free from burnout and have a completely scalable business. The first thing to avoid doing is don't tell. So as a coach, you don't want to give them answers. So what does this look like? Well, Jimmy, your director of operations, comes up to you and they have an issue.
Hey, I'm having a problem with Frank, someone I've been managing for about 6 months. He's not following his processes, he's not making deadlines, and he's not showing up on time.
Instead of just telling him what to do with Frank, this is an opportunity for him to learn, because Jimmy doesn't have the tools right now, and that's why he's coming to you. And if you continue to give him the answers, he's never going to have the tools. So instead of telling him what to do, you ask him a question. And when you ask him a question, you shut up and you really listen. Because what you're trying to figure out is how this guy thinks and how they solve problems. So Jimmy, what do you think the real issue is with Frank?
Well, I've been telling him everything he needs to do. I'm not sure what to do. What do you think?
At the moment, I'm not really sure what to think. But let me ask you a question. Has he been fully trained and onboarded on everything he needs to do for his job? Have you been mentoring him and training him and developing him like we're supposed to for this role?
You know what? Now that I think about it, I haven't been training him as much. I haven't been holding him as accountable as I should be. And honestly, I haven't been checking on him as a person and how he's doing outside of work as well.
That's a lot of great stuff that you mentioned. It's always important to repeat back what you heard. You haven't been holding him accountable. You haven't been making sure he's doing his processes. You haven't been checking on him as a person. So what do you think the best course of action is to do?
First, I'm going to talk about the things that we've been experiencing. Then I'm going to get on the same page with him and even learn about some improvements that I need to make as a leader. Then after that, I'm going to take him out for a cup of coffee and see if there's anything going on in his personal life that might be holding him up. Because now that I think about it, he didn't start this way. This has only been happening the last month or 2.
Now, after they come to their own conclusion, this is what you say. That sounds wonderful. When are you going to have the meeting? And when are you going to follow up with me about what goes on? Because that's it. You just want to know that he's going to get it done and create accountability between me and Jimmy so that we know how things are going to work.
I'm going to meet with him next Friday, and I'll follow up with you next Wednesday.
And that's what being a coach is. Now, deep down, most of the time, you're already going to know the answer. Congratulations. But this is when you need to shut up and make sure that your people, like Jimmy, have the answer themselves. Because when you get to your own answers, you actually believe them. When you're told those answers, maybe you do it, maybe you follow through, but you never truly understand. And that's what coaching is all about, getting people to understand. Let's be honest, all problems in your business come down to one thing: people problems. I spend my entire day on the phone with founders and CEOs, helping them unpack, redirect, and come up with better plans and strategies to work on their people. Because when your people are doing everything well, that's less for you to do in your business, and that's what we're really after. If you're feeling like you have something you want to unpack, get clear on a strategy for, book a call below. I'd love to be able to help you out. All right, now you know that you don't tell. What's next? Don't do. Every founder that I have met forgot the journey that they went on to get to this point. There was a time when you made a lot of mistakes, but you had no one looking over your shoulder telling you to hurry up, telling you you're not doing something right. But how many times do you see somebody on your team about to make a little mistake and you jump all over them? Yeah, that might fix things in the short term, but what it doesn't do is allow people to learn. So don't do. Allow for people to make mistakes. Allow for people to learn. After someone makes a mistake, sit down with them. Ask them, what went well here? What would you do in the future to improve it? And then tell them what you saw that they did great and where they could make improvements. That's how learning takes place. That's what coaches do. So here's an example of what a conversation would look like when someone made a mistake. Let's play with Jimmy again. So Jimmy was doing a project and he made a little mistake. He got 90% of the way there, but there was 10% missing. And the first question I ask is, so Jimmy, now that you got this project wrapped up, let's review how things went. What is the thing you think you did best?
Well, I got it done on time. That was a big priority for me.
Now, after he says what he's excited about, no matter what it is, you excite back. Absolutely. Wonderful point, man. You getting this job done on time is amazing. It shows that you have discipline, that you were focused, and you're reinforcing what you want Jimmy to think about. Now, the next question is, if you had to do this all over again next time, what's one thing you think you would do better?
Looking back, I had to work hard to get it done by the deadline. If I had to do it again, I would prepare more, definitely strategize some more, and also delegate some tasks to my team so it didn't feel like I was taking on the workload all by myself.
Now, after they tell you what they would do better next, you breathe it in, you accept it, you say, thank you for being so honest, Jimmy. That's a really good point. Now, if you agree with it, just stick with it. I agree. Coming up with a better plan from the very beginning so that you know exactly what you need to do and for your team to know what they need to do will definitely set you up for success next time without feeling so much pressure. Let me tell you what, next time you have a project like this, when we're in our team meetings, why don't we set aside some extra time and do some work to set up a plan that would be really great for you to do this? Sound good? A lot of times when you're having these conversations, this is what I know happens. I've done this and this is what it is. You bring him in, he says his thing that he does really well, you congratulate him, you get excited, and then when they say the thing that they do wrong, you jump all over them. Yeah, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, or any of that. That's not gonna inspire Jimmy to try to do better next time. You just accept it, know that this is part of his learning process, and you put something in there to make it better next time. And that's what coaching looks like. All right, the last thing to not do so you could go into coach mode is don't solve. I bet you spend the most of your day solving other people's issues. And so what I want you to think about is you're effectively doing their job. You're the founder, you're the CEO of your company. Should you be doing things that are below your pay grade? Probably not, but a lot of people are. So when an issue gets brought to you, you don't solve it. When people bring things to you like that, here's a great question to ask. What have you already tried? What's your recommended solution? And what support do you need from me to move forward? When people are bringing you their issues, they're going to just want you to be their daddy, want you to be their mommy and get things done from them. But you have to unwind that behavior in your business because they know that you've been the doer. But now you're going to slow them down, change up the pace, and you're going to be a coach. And you're going to start getting them to think about things and also training a new behavior in your business where you aren't there to solve their problems. Because when you're spending time solving their problems, who's doing your job? Who's solving your problems? Who do you go to? The answer? Nobody. So that means your work, the things that need to get done to really move the business forward, aren't getting done. And you're sacrificing that for someone else's job. Most people think becoming a coach will get your time back, but they're wrong. The truth is, you'll multiply impact. But the reason you got in burnout is because you're not great at managing your own time. It's just the truth. Most founders are jumping in chaos to chaos, doing all this stuff. The real secret is this. What's important in your business but not urgent? These are the things that real founders and CEOs need to be working on. Stuff like vision, strategy, culture, people. But if you're stuck over here doing things that are urgent but not important, it's like doing someone else's job. It's not important to you. It's not important to moving the company forward. If you're spending your time here, and honestly, some of you guys are spending time here, not important, not urgent. This gives you a chance to really look at how you're spending your time in your company. And in order to improve, you need to spend more time here and not urgent and important. You need time to think how things are going, where things are going. How can you communicate a vision to your people if you don't put time aside to understand it? How can you create a strategy if you don't have any time to think about your strategy? And this is what the truth is. And this is why you're in burnout right now, because you're not spending time doing work on the important stuff. You're spending time here, and you're living a reactive life. That's what causes burnout. Not the amount of work that you're doing, but where you're spending your time and the type of work that you're doing. What I've seen with my clients, so that they could focus on what's important and not urgent, they block out 2 hours every Friday and they get outside. You need to get out of your environment, get out of the normal day-to-day grind so that you could start thinking differently. And how do you find the time? Use that Eisenhower matrix and start looking at where you're using your time. You know those tasks that you put down that are not urgent and not important? Those are the ones that you could be deleting so that you could find time. Block out a couple hours. I love it on Friday mornings. Get up and go just think. Get out in nature and start just thinking about life, thinking about business. Ask yourself a question, something that you've been mulling over, something that you've not sure about how to handle. And then you start dealing with it and you start thinking about it. But you need to get out of your current environment, okay? And I have a strong recommendation here. Every quarter, get away for 2 to 3 days so that you could really think. You could think about the vision for your business, where things are really going. Then you come back and you make a strategy. But you can't dream big if you're sitting there in your same office thinking about the same old shit. You need to think differently, and getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of your environment will help you do it. This is a non-negotiable, because it's now your time and this stage of your business is to think. You're paid by your quality of your thoughts and the answers that you could create with them, not for doing the work anymore. You need to get out of doer mode and you need to get into thinker mode, architect mode, because that's what's really going to drive the business forward. And the last thing, most of you out there, you guys are very reactive, jumpy, moving side to side, getting things done. You need to get out of reactive mode. And you know the best way to get out of reactive mode? You put your goddamn phone away. So here's what we covered so far. The first is moving from a doer to a coach, coaching your people up and helping them learn and have more knowledge. The second is moving from urgent to important, understanding the things that you really need to be doing, the important stuff in the business to drive it forward and making time for it each week. Now, we're gonna move on to the third shift. For the last burnout breaking shift, I want you to grab your hands and squeeze them for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I want you to let go. How does it feel to release that tension? Feels amazing, right? That's how it feels when you go from control to trust in your business. So why the fuck are you living like this in the first place? So first of all, control is an illusion. You really don't control as much as you think you can. You're only in control of yourself and your actions. Stop trying to play God, and I bet you won't be burning out, because that sounds like a job that you simply just can't fulfill. The truth is you can't build anything worthwhile if you have control in absolutely everything. There's just too much. The opposite of control is faith, which means trust. Here's how you go from control to trust in 3 simple words. Here's the first word. What do you want your business to be like? You will constantly be striving for control if you don't have a clear vision, strategy, org chart, core values, all of that documented and shared inside of your business. Why? Because you're the only one that knows what it should be like. Get things out of your head, get it clear so that everyone on your team can understand it. When they start understanding it, you have less desire for control. The second simple word is share your tasks. Now, I know that asking other people for help could be a challenge for you in the very beginning, so start small. Delegate one task here, one task there. Tell people the exact outcome that you have for it, maybe even the process that you think will be great for them to get there, and start letting things off your plate. There's a reason that you do so much in your business. It's because you choose to. So start sharing tasks so other people could take it and build trust with them over time. So start off real small. If you're wondering how to share your tasks, here's how I recommend it. Number one, share the ideal outcome for what needs to be done with one of your teammates. This is what it needs to look like when it's completed. Number two, offer some possible steps on their way to get there. And number three, ask them what they heard and have them repeat it back to you. A lot of times you could be going so fast as a founder, do no, 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 and they just wave their head yes because that's their job is to say yes to you. But then a week later, you find out that they didn't get it done. Set clear expectations, clear outcomes, and people will deliver on what you gave them. I know that delegating tasks is tough. I've been there and work with founders on this all the time. But letting go and trusting your people is the real key for you to grow your business. If you have something going on that you are not sure how to delegate, maybe you have a people issue or a process issue or something that I'm not even aware of, or maybe you're not aware of, book a call in the link below. Let's talk about it and really strategize how to start getting things off your plate so you could start doing things that are true founder and CEO roles in your business and not the frontline employees type of stuff. And the last simple word to go from control to trust is subscribe. Subscribe to a strategy and stick to it. More than likely, the reason you're feeling burnt out is because you're changing strategies all the time, that you're jumping in front of people and things aren't really clear. Stop flying by the seat of your pants. And once the strategy and plan is set, you need to let go and trust. That's it. 3 simple words for letting go of control. Like, share, and subscribe. And that's exactly what you should do if you found this video helpful.